Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'm here today to thank you for your cooperation over the years. We remember how it all started. I mean, your work on this team has begun. In this team, it starts on the eve.
Начиналась ваша работа в этом составе, в этом коллективе. Она начиналась как раз в преддверии.
There are few pleasant events related to the coronavirus pandemic for all of us. This is just a few weeks before the government was formed. After that, problems related to the fight against coronavirus infection began. It was very difficult. I would say even a difficult test for a country, for all of us. Well, for the world, in fact, I have to answer that we passed this test with you at that time. It is worth mentioning that it is related to the mobilization of all our resources in the field of health, the entire social field, not only in the field of industry and production. All the country needs to organize the fight against this coronavirus and the whole thing. I repeat, in general, we have passed this with dignity, and the government has done a lot of things. In order to organize the relevant work in the economic field, because in addition to specific production, it is necessary to make decisions that affect the entire economy at that time. Well, what to close and what not to close. I remember clearly how we solved the problem there, for example, buildings, road construction, whether to close it or not, how to do it, what to do with teams, including creative teams, how to support them when we are forced to be limited. People, their jobs, and so on and so on. The question is, you have a lot in general. The problem of supporting entire enterprises, huge entire economic sectors, they are balanced and timely, all of which have produced generally satisfactory results in the fight against the coronavirus and the economy. Well, in 22 years, other problems began because we were convinced that after 8 years of bullying people living in Donbass, we could not solve them. The problems of the region, the problems of the people we have always regarded as our own, who regard Russia as their historical motherland, cannot be solved by peaceful means. It became clear later that we were just being led by the nose and that we had to take extraordinary measures to protect these people by armed means. But from an economic point of view, what did it start with? You and I know very well that economic aggression began in the most literal sense. The Russia, the endless sanctions we are facing are aimed at one thing, and you and I know very well what the purpose is: to destroy Russia from within, not only politically, but most importantly economically, to create problems in the labor collective, to cause mass unemployment, leading to the closure of enterprises and entire industries. As we know, our opponents have failed. The result is completely contrary to our expectations. Last year, Russia's economy grew faster than the world's, so the indicators were ahead, not only of the major European Union countries, but also of all the so-called countries, the so-called G7. Together, we have sought valuable answers to the most difficult historical challenges and have generally successfully overcome them. It is essential that we continue to address current challenges and work actively and consistently on the development agenda. Within the framework of key national goals and priorities, we have consolidated and strengthened Russia's international position, and Russia's security and sovereignty are at the forefront of all the tasks we have set and resolved for ourselves. We have ensured that citizens' income has increased substantially, real wages and real income from residents' income have increased, overall acceptable, if not at a good pace.
населения росли в целом приемлемыми, если не сказать хорошими темпами.
Of course, we could probably do more, but on the whole, what was done was decent, and with, say, a mildly quite satisfactory result.
И с, скажем так, мягко, вполне удовлетворительным результатом. Отдельно отмечу.
The systematic work of the government in introducing modern digital management technology methods is also pointed out. Much has been done to raise the quality of public services to a new level, to systematically improve the quality and accessibility of public services to citizens, and to improve the business and investment environment, which is extremely important for the final overall outcome.
Что чрезвычайно важно для конечного общего результата.
I know how close and constructive your interaction with colleagues in the legislature, with the regions, with the public, with the business community, with the expert community, and so on. He emphasized that remarkable achievements and momentum have been made in all major areas, and the solid foundation laid is of great significance for successfully solving the current and future tasks and realizing our long-term development plan.
Сегодняшних, да и будущих задач для выполнения наших долгосрочных планов развития. И мы знаем, что
We know we have to launch new national programs, new federal programs. What has been done so far is a good basis for moving forward. As you know, in the near future, according to the Constitution of the Russian Federation, the process of forming a new government will be carried out. And during this period, it is necessary to take all necessary measures to actively continue the implementation of the plan so that our work will not be suspended. Therefore, I expect colleagues at all levels of the executive to do so. Concentration. We need continuity in our efforts to achieve national development goals, and I believe that all of this will be guaranteed. Once again, I would like to thank Mikhail Mishustin, dear colleagues, for your professionalism, your dedication to the cause and interests of Russia, and your understanding of your great responsibilities.
За понимание своей огромной ответственности перед людьми, ответственности буквально за каждый шаг.
In modern conditions, every step, every word, and every decision is important, and there is no small thing.
В условиях все важно, мелочей не существует. Цена наших.
The price of our actions at this time is certainly a historical time for our country. Your experience, your knowledge, your personal authority, and your professional quality will definitely be in demand. Dear colleagues, thank you very much for your hard and fruitful work. And of course, I would like to congratulate you on the upcoming great holiday of Victory Day. Thank you.
Dear Vladimirovich, dear colleagues, but first of all, I would like to thank you for the trust you have placed in me personally and every member of the cabinet over the past 20 years. Yes, indeed. 2 weeks after the appointment, the cabinet actually began the coronavirus pandemic. You said that, but later the challenge was not easy, and this is a large number of sanctions, which say that it exceeds all sanctions against any country, and when all of these sanctions are imposed, we are mobilized. Well, of course, I'm sure all the cabinet members will agree with me. We worked under your guidance. This is the internal mentoring of, including you and us. There are industry meetings and a lot of people dealing with each issue. I would say endless 24/7 consultations. All of this has worked here, and I want to say that we have tried very hard not to disappoint you and the citizens of our country here, and we are proud to be part of your team. Levichev, of course. Today you said that according to the Constitution, members of the government, the Prime Minister, resign, but members of the cabinet are absolutely sure. A lot of people say, we're talking about this. Colleagues who are not in positions will be clearly committed to achieving the national goals of national development and will do everything for their country and their citizens. Thank you for your attention and for
Trust, dear colleagues. A political cycle is coming to an end. Another political cycle is beginning, but the work for the benefit of Russia, Russians, and all other peoples of the Russian Federation has not stopped. I would like to thank you for what we have done, and you have done in previous years, and hope that we will do more in the name of Russia and its people. Thank you very much for your good wishes before the meeting.